It's a small town that seems to sum up what it means to be in Vermont.
I think we pretty much know everybody in town.
But the heart and soul here is facing uncertainty, and locals are determined to save it.
We're gonna make it happen. We have to.
In the town next door, not one but two general stores have been saved.
All of which leads to a good trivia question.
Answer coming up. Traditions endure here, like a historic meeting house with a five-fingered legend.
It really is holding it up, isn't it? Is it not?
And where small community ski hills are as affordable as they are quirky.
2023, they were filming here for Beetlejuice.
And at a Story Diner, a stunning revelation.
Can't believe I've never noticed that.
All part of the main streets and back roads of Stratford, Vermont. Next on Chronicle.
This is Chronicle on WCVB Channel 5.
In truth, most of the small storied towns of Vermont's Orange County share a strong sense of the same quality, community.
We're neighbors, and I think we just want to care for each other.
All the people that live here want to participate and be part of this community.
And it may well be that nowhere is that exact sentiment expressed more strongly right now than right here.
Today, Stratford, Vermont looks pretty much the same as it did a century or more ago. Cars, lights, Wi-Fi now, sure, but still the look of largely unchanged, undeveloped rural Vermont. Still only a few small shops, but there is one central gathering spot here in the village of South Stratford, and it's safe to say that of the just over 1,000 folks who live in the area today, pretty much every single one of them has been through its doors.
I call it a little mini mall. Welcome to our mini mall. I mean, we have hardware, we have groceries, we have a bank, we have a post office, we have gas, and we have a laundromat down back. Pretty much everything you need if you can't get out of town. And, you know, it's good company too.
Bye, guys.
That it is. And it's been good company here since Melvin and Sue Coburn started running the Century Plus General Store nearly 50 years ago, because with all that the store sells and all of the services it provides, it's something actually priceless and offered for free that most endears folks to the Coburns.
It's invaluable to the community. I mean, it's just a place where you see everyone, and that's almost more important than being able to get your milk, I think.
I mean, I came in, who knows when. I've already been here an hour talking to people that I've run into.
I think it's really the Coburns that make it feel the home that it is for everybody in town.
In what different ways does the community here depend on your store?
It's a community hub, really. It's a informational place as much as a social gathering place.
Say, for example, the power goes out. This is where they come to get their first cup of coffee, to find out what happened, how long is it going to be, have you heard anything?
Because they know you'll be open.
They know we'll be open.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Being there for people is helped a bit by living across the street from the store, but the Coburns make clear that the bonds here go both ways.
The community is an anchor to us as well. And when we went through a time that we needed extra help, the community came together. Unbelievable. Even Melvin's doctor came and stocked shelves.
My doctor came and worked, and afterwards he said, I'm going to stay as a doctor. He said, it's too much work to work here, he said.
It's hard work, long hours. It's family. I mean, I grew up in it.
15.
Melvin and Sue's daughter, Chrissy Jameson, along with her own kids, have all helped out at the store, all part of the close connections and continuity here.
He grew up here. I live in the house that he grew up in. My kids grew up in the house he grew up in. You know, so there's a sense of community, sense of family. You know, people have known us all our lives.
Lives which for Melvin and Sue are touching 80 now. In 2022, they announced what longtime customers and friends like Trudy Brock had long dreaded. They'd sell the store and retire at long last.
What came to mind for you first when Melvin and Sue said, we're going to hang it up.
It was nice that they could retire. They've been here a really long time and put a huge amount of their life and their energy into this store. So I was happy for them that they could make that decision. And then worried a little bit about who might come along to buy the store.
But with the right buyer not materializing, supporters like Brock decided to create a backup plan, create a community trust, raise the money to buy the store, then simply find the right person to run it.
Maybe there's a plan B that we can come up with.
So like we get the phone call, our general store's in trouble, what do we do? And we're there like every step of the way. We get people together in a group, we talk about, a nonprofit ownership model that can be leased out to a private operator.
Ben Doyle is president of the Preservation Trust of Vermont, which has helped other communities save their general stores.
Really the most important thing we do is just tell them they can do it, because they can. Right? It can become daunting and overwhelming, and we're just here to say, you know what, people have done it.
Yeah, we've all kind of gone out of our comfort zones. I mean, I certainly don't want to be on TV usually.
South Stratford resident Laurie Birkenkamp is helping fundraise for the store project. She's raised 4 kids here, including a son who went from enjoying Coburn's candy section to having his own merch corner. But the store is only too happy to celebrate its fellow townie, 2-time Grammy nominee, Noah Kahn.
What does it mean to him to hold on to the store?
It means enough to him that he was one of the first people to offer to make a gift to support the project. He calls and asks me all the time how things are going and how he can help.
Meanwhile, in South Stratford, it's all about succeeding in saving their beloved store now, inching, they hope, toward a new life after Melvin and Sue, however hard that is for this town to imagine.
That's a life of service, what they've provided, right? It's not just a business.
It's very bittersweet. It's something we absolutely love, but we also realize we're not young anymore, and how long can old people keep going?
Just the same, Melvin and Sue have been determined to stay open until the hoped-for handoff happens.
We wouldn't think about closing the store. My feeling is that every town, small town, needs a general store. Unfortunately, that's not the way it is anymore. Right. A lot of towns are losing it, but when they expressed interest in keeping the store open, then we knew that the store would never close. Hopefully, it'll be here forever.
And clearly hard work pays off. We have a wonderful update from South Stratford, Vermont.
So just a couple weeks after Ted was there in mid-January, the Community Trust actually reached its goal of raising $1.8 million. That money will be used to then the trust will buy it from the Coburns, and a new manager, owner, person will come in and actually run the store. So the dream is going to live on. The store is going to continue to operate.
So great, and I agree with what he says. Every town needs a general store.
Exactly.
Coming up, a dead giveaway at the diner.